Welcome, fellas, to the Savor Bro Show, episode 75, The Needs-Based Woman. We are going to talk about needy women or break down energy vampires. We've talked about it before, energy vampires, but we're going to get a little bit deeper and we're going to make it more digestible so you can understand it. But before we dive in, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way you can get this good player-ish fresh off the press. If you're listening on Apple, drop a comment. If you like the video, if you like the episode, if you got some from it, if you're listening on, Apple or Spotify, make sure you guys leave a review, like a comment, send me a message on Instagram at King Dreism and let me know your thoughts on this episode. Now, if you're ready to stop wasting time, and start choosing women who add value to your life, fellas, then check out my program, How to Vet Women Properly. It's the ultimate guide to spotting red flags, getting women to open up and be themselves, getting women to be comfortable, and building the relationships that elevate you. That's How to Vet Women Properly. If you're listening on YouTube, the link is going to be in the description. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, the link is going to be in the description. Or you can send me a message on Instagram or Facebook at King Dreism that says vet, V-E-T. But anyway, guys, let's get into it. So fellas, needs-based women don't just waste your time. They drain your energy, they leave you frustrated, and they block you from real growth. You ever been in a situation or been in a relationship or dealing with a woman and you felt like you wasn't growing? You felt like you was reaching a plateau? That's a needs-based woman you're dealing with. Today, I teach you how to recognize these type of women, how to avoid them, and even check yourself to make sure you're not needy or needs-based or being an energy vampire to a woman. Because if you're being a needy man or energy vampire to a woman, it's going to be hard for her to it's going to be hard for her to be attracted to you. It's going to be hard for her to not feel like she has an extra child or a child, right? We breaking down needs-based women, what they look like, how they impact your life, and how to avoid getting caught up in these draining ass dynamics. So if you're ready for that, let's get it. We've talked about energy vampires, like I just said, but we're going to dig a lot deeper. And by the end of this episode, you will know exactly how to identify needs-based women, how to avoid them, and build connections with women who truly bring value to your life. Listen, this is why I'm here. I hope you guys are listening. I hope you guys are paying attention. And this game going to be, so I could have put this in a program. I started to put this in How to Vet Women Properly. And I might take it down, after, a week or so and throw this on there because the game is that deep. And, before I get into the game, I got to pop my collar and, so you guys I just got to talk my stuff for a little bit sometimes. Y'all know don't nobody bring you this level of game this deep on the internet nowhere. And I'm your gracious game gracious game advisor, yours truly, Savor Bro. But let's get into it, man. Let's get it straight into it. Again, go somewhere, get your pen, your pads, your notepads, put on your headphones. Shout out to all my truck drivers delivering that product across the country that listening to me. They listen to me on their routes over the road, listening to the game. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all my guys in the cubicles. Shout out to my guys that's doing their thing, working, providing value to the world, running their businesses, in the gym, listening to it. Shout out to all my guys. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So what is a needs-based woman, right? A needs-based woman enters the relationship to fill a void, right? They have a lot of voids that they need to be filled, whether it's emotionally, whether it's financially, or even psychologically. She operates from a mindset of lack or a scarcity mindset. Y'all know how in the manosphere community, they talk about scarcity mindset. Women have a scarcity mindset too. And it's not necessarily getting laid, because women don't have a scarcity mindset in terms of getting laid, but they have a scarcity mindset in other areas in their life. And that manifests itself in her dealing with you in the relationships, right? They get in these relationships looking to her partner as the solution to her problems rather than someone to build with. So they instead of getting with you to build with, right? Getting with you to grow with you mutually and connect with you and grow, they looking for you, or they look to you as a solution to their problems. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you have more types of women than just needs based, right? You have women that are value based too, and you have other types of women, but the main two women are value based. When you're dealing with women, the main two types of women that you're going to run across is needs based and value based. In order for you to understand the needs based woman more, I'm going to give you the definition of the value based woman so you can kind of compare and contrast. A value based woman enters the relationship or deals with you from a place of abundance, not lack. She's not looking for a person or a man to complete her, right? She's looking for a man to enhance her, right? To enrich her from what she already doing, if that makes sense. Her expectations are rooted in mutual growth, emotional connection, and reciprocity. She's looking for you to add value to her life, not meet her need, not complete her. And the difference is night and day. If you've never dealt with a woman like this, then, it's foreign to you, but the difference is night and day. When you with a needs-based woman who get with you for you to fill a need in her life, to fill a void in her life, that's very draining, especially if you're a man who's out to get something in life, who has a purpose in life, who's on a path in life. Being a slave to a woman's needs or being a slave to a woman's emotions is very, very, very draining after a while, but I just wanted to give you guys the opposite of that so you can see what I'm talking about. But again, today we're going to focus more on the needs-based. Right now, the key traits of a needs-based woman. Number one is a scarcity mindset, right? Scarcity mindset people focus on what's missing rather than what she can offer, right? She's focusing on what is not there. She's focusing on what she doesn't have instead of counting her blessings and looking at it from a perspective of what she can add to the table or add to the relationship or add to your life, right? You got emotional scarcity. Like she's constantly feeling unloved or unworthy and expects you to make her feel secure. That's emotional scarcity, right? She say shit like, I don't know if you really care about me, right? Even when you've shown her consistently that you do, even when your actions, you got the receipts, you got the words, regardless of what you do, she still has these negative feelings. She still has these negative emotions and she expresses them. That's emotional scarcity. Then you have personal scarcity, right? She believes she'll never achieve happiness or success on her own, and she looks at you for validation or direction. That's different from a woman looking to you for leadership. Now, a woman looking to you for leadership is a bit different. There's women who won't move or who won't do things or who won't fulfill their personal goals or aspirations without a man. And it's not like they even gonna fulfill them with or without you. They just make you responsible for them, and their excuse for not achieving them, they make a man their excuse for not achieving, their goals, right? She gonna lean on you. She lean on you to motivate her to get a better job or lose weight or pursue her goals, but she never follow. She won't follow through without your push. She ain't gonna follow through with nobody's push. She just makes you responsible for it. Then you have fear-based thinking, right? Which is a part of not emotional, but a part of the scarcity mindset. You have fear-based thinking, right? So she's always worried about losing you, which leads to controlling or clingy behavior. And y'all know, as a man, sometimes that controlling or clingy behavior, it validates our ego sometimes, right? Guys who are operating in their ego, women who are clingy and clinging on to you and stuff like that, it validates their ego. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel important, but that's dangerous after a while, right? So let's say, you've been busy all day or you've been in the gym or whatever, she complains about you not calling her back quickly enough. She texts you, right? She texts you, you don't text her back and she thinks something wrong. Or you don't respond as fast as she thinks that you should respond. And now she's worried about, if you lose an interest. She starts panicking and, do you still want me? Do you still want to do this? Are you mad at me? That type of shit. That's fear-based thinking, and that comes from a scarcity mindset. And these are a scarcity mindset, is one of the main traits of a needs-based woman. Now, another trait of the needs-based woman is emotional dependency. She relies on you for validation and struggles to regulate her emotions without your reassurance. This is very, 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 very draining. One of my deal breakers, one of my boundaries is a woman has to learn, or not even learn, a woman has to be able to regulate her own emotions. I don't like to deal with women who can't regulate their own emotions and they try to make you responsible for their emotions. You see what I'm saying? They're emotionally dependent on you. You see what I'm saying? This shows up in the form of mood swings. Her emotional state is tied to how much attention is getting to you. How much attention she's getting from you. Her emotional state is tied to how much attention you show her. When you busy and don't text back immediately, like I was just talking about, her mood shift from happy to angry or upset or feeling sad, and she accuses you of not caring. That's emotional dependency. Constant checking in. She always asking for reassurance about your feelings. I know y'all hear this all the time. I know you. Well, if you I don't even want to say an attractive man or a player, because most guys have heard this, but they're always checking in. Do you even love me? Are you seeing somebody else? Do you still like me? Even when there's no reason to doubt, your commitment or the love that you've shown, she asking you shit like that. And again, in the beginning, it feeds the ego. It's like, she on my body. She like me. She into me or whatever. But that's a red flag. That's called emotional dependency. Always looking for reassurance. She can't regulate her own self. She can't regulate her own emotions without you reassuring her. Now, another trait of a needs-based woman to look out for is transactional giving, right? And this is why I tell you guys, I've been telling you guys lately and warning you guys lately, because I've always, I don't call it career or whatever, but I always teach you guys to deal with women who provide you value and who do things for you and, who shows up other than words, who provide you value, basically. I don't want to say that I was wrong for doing that, because I'm what it wasn't. You're supposed to want women like that. But what I have been making sure lately to do or tell you guys is to not let that get to your ego, or not let that make you feel any better about yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because what happens is a woman will be able to do these. A woman will do this type of stuff. A woman will provide for that man, or a woman will provide for you, not like provide you money, but a woman will provide you value and do things for you and make your life easier, right? And you, instead of looking at that as that's who that woman is, you think that that's a testament to who you are as a man. And so what that woman does for you makes you feel like a man. That makes you feel better about yourself, right? And what happens is women use them doing things for you or them providing you value. They use it for guys like that who don't know any better to play them, or they use it to trap them. You see what I'm saying? They do stuff for you. They do something nice for you. They provide you value. They cook for you, or whatever the case may be, or they, give you money or help you out or whatever the case may be. And guys get blindsided because it feeds their ego, and they let their guard down and they overlook the red flags, or they deal with or tolerate a lot of bullshit because they thinking that, the value that the woman's providing or whatever a woman's giving, they think that that's somehow they all of a sudden their game just so good. So again, I know I've taught you guys how to get things out of a woman, how to get a woman to provide you value, but I want to make sure that you guys realize, don't let that go to your head. Because a woman will give you the shirt off her back, right? She'll give you the shirt off her back and jump in the car and go get tossed up by another dude naked, if that makes sense. She'll give you everything she got and still go, the wrong type of woman, not every woman, right? That's how they hook guys, by providing them value. Just like a man, women who are egotistical or women who have shattered egos, they be easy to play because all the man got to do is come in. And just shower them with gifts, money, and, love bomb them and shit. And then, women thinking, oh my God, he likes me. Oh my God. And they don't realize this dude's just a trick. And he's just, it's just a smoke screen, and they get taken advantage of. Don't be that guy. But anyway, I said all that to say transactional giving, right? It's a part of needs-based woman, right? Her contributions to the relationship, again, these come with strings attached. She expects specific outcomes in return for her efforts, right? She gives you a gift, but expects something bigger or more valuable in return. She surprises you with a small gift, then drops a hint like, I can't wait to see what you'll get me for my birthday. You ever had a chick say that to you? You give her something like, oh, I can't wait to see what you get me. Women transactional giving can show up as like emotional manipulation. So she offers affection and attention only when she wants something from you. And if you falling for shit like that, you're goofy if you falling for shit like that. I'm gonna be real. If you let a woman play you by being nice to get something, and you let her be hot and cold, and you following a woman like that, that's goofy. But I gotta say it because guys don't understand that. So let's say she's overly sweet and affectionate when she wants you to pay for something or do her a favor, but her energy shifts if you say no, right? So if you say no to what she the request or favor, then her whole vibe change. Or her energy shift. That's transactional giving, and transactional giving is a part of a needy woman or needs-based woman's. That's a part of her character. Lack of boundaries, right? Needs-based women don't respect your boundaries, right? Not that they lack boundaries, but they don't respect your boundaries. And this is not to be confused with disrespecting you as a person, but right, I mean, it's basically disrespecting you as a person, but we're just talking about the boundaries itself, right? She disregards your personal needs and pushes her own priorities onto you, right? Disrespecting your time. She expects you to drop everything for her, even when you've communicated other priorities. So let's say you tell her you're working on an important project and she responds, why can't you just take a break and call me? That's her not respecting your boundaries. Again, it's not like overt disrespect though, but that's her. She's not respecting your boundaries. You told her, yo, I got something to do. And she basically saying, fuck all that. Take a break and call me. You don't want to get with women like that. Another one is moving too fast. Now, I'm not saying that a woman is supposed to let you string her along forever, right? But she's escalating the relationship very quickly, expecting exclusivity very quickly, or deep emotional closeness early on. You ever dealt with a woman like that, fellas? You ever dealt with a woman who expected you to just drop everything you're doing, drop everybody you was talking to, and just pour all into her, and she expects that from you? After a couple of dates, she starts, calling you her boyfriend, or calling you her man, or calling you whatever little title, right? And wants you to meet her family, and that's crazy. She wants you to meet the family after, a couple of dates or, a month or two. That's crazy. She's not even considering your comfort level or anything. She's trying to rush you and lock you in to a situation. These are the traits, fellas, of needs-based women. And you got to pay attention to this type of stuff. This is the type of stuff that you can see early on. You can see it early on within the first, within the first month or two, you can see this type of stuff. This is why I tell you, don't overextend yourself. Don't overdo it. Don't overinvest yourself. Don't go balls to the walls because you have to see this type. You have to take time to see this type of stuff. And you should only be giving to women your overflow. Let me explain the cup analogy. Your life is a cup, because I said I would explain it on the last episode. Real quick, your life is a cup, right? Your life is a cup, and you pour into your life. You pour into your cup, and you pour into your cup so much that there's overflow. You only give the overflow. You only give what you can, right? You don't take and take from your well, and nothing's being poured back in. Right now, you expect the people that's around you to pour into your cup as well, because you pouring into their cup. But you always want to make sure that your cup is running over, and you run your cup over by pouring into yourself and chasing your dreams and making yourself happy and getting your money and tending to your mental health and doing the things that, provide you emotional fulfillment. Right. And when you are at your optimal self, it's easy to give to people. It's easy to give to a family. It's easy to give to your friends or give to a woman. It's easy. And so what I'm saying is, in the beginning stages of you vetting that woman, you only overflow. That way, if, in a month or two, you see that she ain't, you keep it moving. And you're not overinvested because you done gave your last to a person, or you done gave everything you got to a situation. You're not supposed to give, especially a woman that you just getting to know, you're not supposed to give her everything you got. You give people the overflow. And if you ain't got the overflow to give, you ain't got it to give, you don't give. Stay away from relationships until you can, again, not give your money out and be no trick. That's not what I'm saying, but give yourself. Right, show up in a situation, show up in a relationship, or show up in a dealing with women, But again, that are those. Excuse me, I'm talking crazy. Those are the traits of a needs-based woman. Now let's talk about why dealing with needs-based women or needy women or energy vampires. Let's talk about why they are harmful to your health, your mental health, your relationships. It's very harmful. Needs-based women are inherently draining because they lack balance. A relationships that's built on needs, right? Just getting needs met and all that shit. You hear women say all the time, I need my needs met. I need my needs met. I need my needs met. These are needy women. These are needs-based women. They tell you who they are. But these type of relationships are, they lack balance, right? The value-based, a man who's typically men are value-based, right? We are pretty much value-based. And if you're a needy man, if you're an energy vampire man, you need to check yourself. But I'm just speaking for dudes that's, on their shit, and they don't look for a woman to complete them. They about value and providing a woman value, and, expect a woman to provide them value. So value-based people, value-based men, if you're a man that's that type of man and you constantly pouring into a relationship without receiving meaningful reciprocity, it's going to drain you. Even if you're a needy man, and you're dealing with a woman who's a needy woman, eventually you're going to be drained, because over time, this dynamic causes emotional, mental, and physical strain, and it leaves you frustrated and it leaves you unfulfilled. So whatever kind of man you is, or whatever kind of man you are, right? Emotional drain. Let's talk about emotional drain. If you are constantly managing a woman's emotions, managing her insecurities, her needs, constantly have to manage her reassurance, and this becomes exhausting over time. Emotional dependence and having to reassure somebody over and over and over, somebody that's dependent on you for emotional support, it's exhausting over time. Again, you ever heard, do you still love me? You didn't compliment me today. Do you even still like me? How do you feel about me? Like all the time? Even if you've shown affection, even if, the receipts are there that, you be on her, you show her this type of love, right? They still need that excessive reassurance. And the one time that they do it in the beginning, it's like, oh, she feeling me or whatever. It strokes your ego. But after a while, those little micro moments and shit'll wear you down over time, right? Emotional volatility, right? Emotional volatility will drain you. A woman's emotional volatility will drain you, right? Her mood changes drastically, again, based on your attention. If you focused on working, if you focused on your self-improvement, pouring into yourself or hanging with your friends or even playing a fucking game for some peace or whatever, she accuses you of neglecting her, and now y'all got a problem, and now you got to work through that and talk through that because, her emotions are not stable. You don't care about me anymore. She start crying about how you don't care about her, you don't think about her. That shit is annoying, and that shit is draining. And that shit will drain you after a while. And if you're a guy who's more value-based, that's definitely not going to do it for you. Now, another reason that it's harmful is imbalanced effort, right? The needs-based woman oftentimes contributes less to the relationship because her focus is on receiving rather than giving. I'm going to say that again. Women who are emotional vampires or energy vampires, they contribute less to the relationship because her focus is on receiving rather than giving. Everything that her whole disposition is based on getting a need met. She's not focused on providing value. Right? Example. All of the plans or the planning is always one-sided. Now, I'm not saying that a woman should be planning your life, but, if we in this together, like you could plan some shit too, especially if it's some shit you want to do, right? But they be expecting you to be, with all the shit that you got going on, to read their mind and, figure out what they want to do for them, and to hell with all that. That shit is draining, right? You the one that's always planning dates. You the one that's always solving conflicts or handling the major decisions in the relationship, right? You plan a weekend getaway and she just shows up without offering to help you with anything, no logistics, no expenses, no none of that, right? It's always an imbalance. Minimal reciprocity. When you get minimal, they reciprocate very minimally because, again, they focused on taking and not giving, right? She expects grand gestures from you, but rarely puts in efforts to match your energy. You surprise her with flowers and she barely acknowledges them. Oh, that's cute, but you didn't get my favorite color. I'm gonna give you guys a story time, right? This happened to me when I was about 20 or 21. I was dealing with this chick and I knew it was over. I knew it was over when this happened. I was dealing with this chick and I had got her this, it's like it wasn't like it was like a bed, cause she used to be into like these bedtime, I don't want to call it lingerie, but like this cute little bed shit, what do you call them? Nightgowns, but it's not like a nightgown, but it's more like, sexy stuff, but it's not like lingerie, like porn star shit. I forgot what you call it, but I had got her this one, I had surprised her with it, and she was complaining about the color, and I was like, this ain't gonna work, and it ultimately didn't work. That chick ended up, this was the chick that did me dirty when I was in jail. But this was right after that. But yeah, man, I had got her the thing and she was complaining about it. I was like, in my mind, I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. But yeah, you get a woman something and she complain about what she don't have instead of just, acknowledging your effort, right? And appreciating your effort. Now, another way that, the needs-based woman is harmful to you is because it prevents your growth, right? Needs-based women often avoid personal development and they rely on you. And when they rely on you, that shit slow you down. Like if a person is not growing with you, if they are not growing in their own and growing with you, it's gonna slow you down, right? Because if you're dealing with a person, you only good as your weakest link, basically, right? And so if the person you with don't want to grow, and you carrying that person, is basically, dead weight. So, right, but they'll rely on you to compensate for their lack of independence. This stunts her growth and it stunts your growth and it stunts the growth of the relationship, right? Give you an example. Dependency, she depends on you to motivate her, right? She leans on you for encouragement to pursue her goals, but lacks the drive to take action herself, right? She talks about wanting to go back to school or start a business, but she never makes any moves unless you push her. And even then, it's short-lived. So if you pushing her to do something, she'll do it, but then she'll give up and just be back on the bullshit, right? The energy and time that you take in and the emotional effort that you take in and pouring into somebody for them to better themselves, eventually, it wears you down because you ain't getting no fruit from it. It's not materializing, and you just wasting your fucking time. And when you wasting your time, you stunting your growth, right? Needs-based women also, they don't self-reflect, right? So instead of addressing her insecurities or issues, she uses the relationship as a distraction, right? And a lot of you guys are in situations to where you that type of utility to where the woman you get with is using you as a distraction, basically, for focusing on herself and growing, right? And making herself a better person and learning how to regulate her emotions, learning how to make her money or grow her spirit or, stabilize her emotions and work on her mental health or whatever the case may be, just growing as a person. She uses you and she uses the relationship to what? Distract her. You can tell that this type of woman, she'll blame her lack of confidence on her past relationships, but she refuses to seek therapy or take steps to heal. So you'll hear a woman talking a lot of bullshit or talking about how bad her ex did her, how bad her ex damaged her, how bad a person played her, how bad her mama did her. But guess she ain't been to therapy. She ain't did no reflective work. She ain't done nothing to heal herself. You see what I'm saying? This not only, again, it stunts her growth. And if you with somebody that either you growing or you dying, and if you with a person and they not growing, you ain't gonna grow either, because they feeding off of you, and that weight is slowing you down. It's stunting your growth as well. You need to be in a situation. You need to be with a woman. You need people. If you like growth, if you want to wallow in that type of bullshit, go ahead. But if you like growth and you want to grow as a man, you need women or a woman who's about growth too. Because if they not, they just gonna slow you down. It's the same with friends. We tell you guys all the time. You hear it all the time. Watch the friends. If your friends ain't trying to get anywhere, if your friends are this, if your friends are that, they gonna hold you back. They gonna stop you from getting places. They gonna hinder you. They the reason you plateauing. Same goes for the women in your life, right? Now, another reason why it's harmful, a needs-based woman is harmful, is it causes resentment and it causes burnout. Eventually, you're going to grow resentment and you're going to burn out, right? Over time, the imbalance in effort and energy leads to resentment, right? You can start feeling used. You're going to start feeling undervalued. And while she becomes frustrated that her needs are not met. So she complaining all the time, and she's frustrated with you. She's probably gonna cheat on you, and here you are and gave your damn all to this fucking relationship, and she still ain't happy or she still ain't satisfied because it's like a bottomless pit, right? You're feeling taken for granted, right? You've constantly given your time, you've constantly given your money and energy, but she never acknowledges your sacrifices, right? So let's say after months of, let's just say you supporting her financially, right? After months of supporting her financially and emotionally, she still complains that you're not doing enough. And you know what bugs me out? You know what bugs me out? And this is just being a coach. I've seen this over the last 6 years. Guys will give their all to a woman with kids that's not theirs, and the woman still, that woman still don't appreciate that. That woman still, we talked about this, I think I talked about this on the provider scam, but it's just mind-boggling to me that how a man can come in a woman's life, take care of her, give her everything, emotionally, financially, as well as the kids, and a woman still complain about how the man not doing enough. I see this all the time as a coach. Guys are fed up with that type of shit. But that's crazy to me, right? Woman will, still complain about how you're not doing enough, right? Burnout. Let's talk about burnout. You be so focused on meeting a woman's needs after a while because you're a man, you love her, you care, you get into that whole cycle and you just want to see them do better. You want to see them happy. That's what happens when you love and you care for somebody, right? You attach to somebody. You want to see them do better, right? But you get so caught up on this and focus on meeting her needs that you start to neglect your own well-being. You stop going to the gym. You stop spending time with your friends. You stop pursuing your hobbies. You start slacking on your business. Because all your time is spent doing what? Trying to keep her fucking happy. You know how many times I've coached dudes and talked to dudes, and it's like I gave her everything, and they come to me and they be like a shell of a man. They don't have anything left. Trying to keep that woman happy. Don't do that. Don't burn yourself out by dealing with a needs-based woman like that. Now, the next way that it's harmful, the next reason that it's harmful is dealing with a needs-based woman creates a caretaker dynamic. And I know if you anything like me, I ain't put here to be nobody's daddy, no grown woman's father. I'm not here to, I'm not a grown woman's father. I'm not going to provide for my family. I'm going to lead my family, but I'm not nobody's father, right? I'm nobody's caretaker. So instead of her being your woman or a partner, you become her emotional and financial caretaker. This disrupts the power dynamic of the relationship, right? She leans on you for everything, from paying the bills to managing her emotions, right? You start to feel more like a parent. I don't know what I'd do without you. She hit you with that to stroke your ego. I don't know what I'd do without you, right? She can't stand on her own. But peep game, this is the cold part about it. You're doing all that, but it's not being reciprocated, right? When you need support, when you have a problem, when you have an issue, right? She's either unavailable or dismissive. And when I say unavailable, I don't mean being there physically, because a person can be there with you physically. They can be in the car with you, but they're unavailable, right? Or they're dismissive. You open up about a stressful day at work, right? You open up about something bad that happened to you, or you being down in the dumps. And instead of listening, she'll change the she'll make it about her. You ever had that happen? You ever came to a woman and she made it about her? Or flipped the situation and made it about her? So or after you've done this, or after you was vulnerable and, you know, showed your vulnerable side, or opened up. Let's say she didn't make it about her. Now the next few days, a few weeks, she acting funky, or you can tell that she's not attracted, or she's turned off from you. Like whatever weakness you showed her, it repelled her. Right? That's not emotional. She's not reciprocating emotionally, because when she come to you with your bullshit, with her bullshit, excuse me, when she come to you with her bullshit, she ain't turned off. You ain't turned off. You know, again, I was talking about this last week. I don't think that that's right. It is what it is. I'm not complaining, but I don't think that it's right that a motherfucker could lean on me emotionally, but I can't lean on them emotionally. Like they all of a sudden turned off. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, you're supposed to depend on women emotionally. And I'm not saying that you should be weak, because I believe women are not made to be pillars for weak men. But if I feel scared or whatever the case may be, you mean to tell me you're going to be turned off because I said that to you? You like, what the that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can call me what you want to call me. That's just crazy to me. That's crazy. But yeah, those are the ways that, you know, why dating a needs-based woman is harmful. These are the things that make it harmful, and how it can, you know, it's just not good. It's not good for progress. How it drains you, it wears you down. And, you know, and eventually that turns bad. Now, y'all know I always gotta hold you to the fire, and I always gotta make sure that, you know, we basically, the game is about you at the end of the day. Y'all, it just ain't no complaining episode. I'm just laying the game out so you can understand what you're dealing with. But I gotta turn it back on you for a minute, right? So we're gonna self-reflect. Are you a needs-based man? Are you a needy man? Right? So I want everybody to listen to this. Even if you think that you're not, listen to it anyway, right? Because you maybe have some needy ways that you're overlooking, right? Before you can attract a quality woman who wants you to provide value to her, and she wants to provide value to you, let me say this real quick. When I'm talking about needs-based, before I get into this, or needs-based or needy women, I'm not talking about desiring emotional connection, intimacy, companionship. I'm not talking about that. Needy, again, is needing somebody to fulfill a void within you. It's not a void that you desire connection with another human being. It's not a void that you desire intimacy. So let's just so we got that established, because I don't think I said that in the beginning, or maybe I did. But anyway, before you can attract like a quality woman who's you know, wants to provide you value and, you know, expects the same from you, you need to make sure you're not operating from a place of a male energy vampire as a needy child yourself, right? Having a needy mentality, a needy disposition, it don't just make the relationship harder. It makes you less attractive to quality women. It makes you unattractive to these type of women. And one thing about women, man, women know how to, good women, a good woman, they know how to see this stuff early. A lot of the times you can't really, a lot of y'all be like, where are all the good women at? You be scaring them off. You scare them off. But, you know, it makes you, being a needy man, it makes you less attractive to high quality women. Women are the good women, right? So these are some signs that you might be needy, and I want you to pay attention. Seeking external validation, right? And you ask, do you love me, or do you think I'm good enough for you? Even when there's no sign of an issue. And I've compiled these things by coaching over the years and years of coaching. I've compiled these things and analyzing guys' text messages and listening to their conversations and, you know, talking to them and listening to them. This is all of the things that I come up with, right? You know, seeking external validation, right? You rely on your woman's compliments. You rely on her attention and her reassurance to feel good about yourself. Do you think I'm good enough for you? Do you still love me? Even when it ain't no sign of an issue, like ain't nothing going on. You needy like that. Another one y'all do, right? If you needy, overreacting to silence. It's a big one. Overreacting to silence. If she don't text you back immediately, you assume she starts to lose interest or she's upset. It be some of y'all, it'll be no shame in y'all game. Y'all be doing this shit in the beginning. Like in the beginning of the interaction, chick go ghost all day, or I ain't gonna even say ghost. She don't text you back all day. You start flipping out. You start texting me, sending me DMs. Hey, what it means? What do you think she still likes me, or what should I say? How do I respond? Should I send her another message? That type of shit. Yeah, that's needy. You're needy. If a woman, and this on everything I love. I don't even be remembering I talk to a person. That, like, if she ain't texting me, I damn near don't even remember her. Like, I don't remember the interaction. I have so much things going on. I got so much going on, my business, my kids, all this me pouring into me, that if I'm not talking to her, I'm not even thinking about her. Y'all be sitting and thinking and stewing over a woman who be busy doing something else, right? You know, if she don't text you back immediately, you think something going wrong, or you think she done lost interest or something. Are you mad at me? Why haven't you replied? Right? Another one y'all do is if your girl get distant or she's not showing you as much attention, like that fucks you up and you think something is wrong. I don't look at it like that. It ain't nothing wrong. It's just whatever, people need their space. She need her space. Let her have her space. She'll come back around, right? But that's all of that is seeking external validation. And if you do that, you need it. Avoiding responsibility. Brothers, let me talk to you for a minute, right? You expect, and I've been here before. I've been in this space when I was younger. Very, very much younger. I've been in positions, getting out of prison and not having shit, and you kind of depend on women and shit. But, you expect your woman to solve your problems or take on, the emotional labor or financial labor of your personal challenges, right? Financial dependency. You lean on her to take care of you financially or make up for your lack of financial planning. We see this all the time. A lot of y'all live with women. Instead of women living with you, a lot of y'all live with women. A lot of y'all moved into a woman's spot. No bueno. She lending you money all the time. You asking her to lend you money all the time. Cover your expenses, right? You don't got no plans to pay her back. You ain't got no plans to get out on your own and get your own shit up. You just taking from a woman like a child, right? You lack initiative. You expect her to push you towards your goal instead of taking action for yourself. You talk about how you want to start your business, get your personal training, take truck driving school, right? But you only research opportunities or apply for jobs when she pressure you to. And again, just like them, when I was talking about how they do it, when you do it, it's very short-lived. That's basically avoiding responsibility. And if you're a man that does that, you needy, right? And you get in relationships with women based on that. And after a while, you drain them. When y'all hear women be complaining about certain types of men, this is what they talking about. And it's a lot of y'all like that. Overreacting to boundaries. Right? You interpret her need for personal space or independence as rejection or neglect. You get upset if she spend time with her friends or family without you. Now, I'm not talking about girls' night at clubs or girls' trips. I ain't talking about that. We all know that that's crazy, right? But, let your woman have her own life. Let her do her own thing. Have her own space. Right? Resistance to her, when you show resistance to her wanting to be independent. And I'm not talking about Lil Webby and Lil Boosie and the INDEENT and all that old shit. I'm not talking about that. But just wanting to have her own identity, right? You resistant to that, right? You feel threatened when she pursue her own interests or hobbies. She joined a yoga class, and instead of supporting her, you say shit like, what you need to spend time with strangers for, what you want to, that old type of goofy shit. That's overreacting to boundaries and her need for personal space and her need for her own identity. If you have a problem with that, you needy. Emotional reactivity. Your emotions are heavily influenced by how she interacts with you. I'm going to say that again. Your emotions as a man is heavily influenced by how your partner interacts with you. Your happiness depends on her attention or her approval. So when she ain't getting you no attention or she not kissing your ass, you have a problem. If she affectionate, you feel great. If she's distant or distracted, because a lot of the times your woman ain't distant. A lot of the times she's distracted. You spiral into insecurity or anger. Guilt tripping. Do you guilt trip your woman? You use guilt to keep her close, right? Or to get her to meet your emotional needs. You say shit like, if you really cared about me, you spend more time with me, like a woman. You saying shit like that. But I'm going to ask you some questions, fellas. And I want you to answer these questions. I want you to answer them honestly. And if you are anything like this, you need to check yourself, right? If you answer these questions, you need to check yourself. Do I look at my partner for constant reassurance or emotional stability? That's the first question. The second question I want you to write down, ask yourself, look in the mirror. Am I expecting someone else to solve problems I can handle myself? The third question, how do I react when my partner sets boundaries or prioritizes her own needs? And the last question, am I building my own confidence and value, or am I relying on others to define my worth? I want you to ask yourself that, right? Me, I want my woman to do her own thing. I like my woman to be independent. Again, not the independent feminist mindset, but I like my woman to have her own identity. I don't need my woman's identity to be rooted in if I meet her needs or not. You see what I'm saying? So, but anyway, that's some self-reflection, right, for you guys. Because y'all talk all this, I want a quality woman and a high value woman and all this shit, but you ain't even ready for one and you're not attractive enough for one. So check yourself, get yourself in line. If you need help, hit me up. I got you. And let's do it like that. But we're going to get into now. Let's talk about how to avoid needy women and how to avoid needs-based women, right? We're going to talk about that because that's very important. I'm going to give you some things to watch out for, right? And when you see them, act on it. Not trying to check her, not trying to change her, but do something about it. Because that's the thing. Y'all can have all the red flags you want to, but if you don't do nothing about it, if you ain't strong enough to walk away or put her on the bench, then, what good is the game? What good is knowing the red flags if you ain't going to do nothing about it? But this is what you need to pay attention to in the beginning. Number one, over reliance on validation. She needs constant reassurance. Are we okay? Right? She's asking you shit like, are we okay? Are we still good? That's over reliance on validation, right? And if you don't respond immediately, it spirals and it turns into something. It may not turn into an argument, but it turns into you having to give more reassurance and you having to talk somebody off an emotional ledge. Pay attention to over-reliance on validation. Don't let over-reliance on validation, don't let your ego trick you into believing that woman has high interest. Because a lot of y'all, when you got a overinflated ego, or even when you have a shattered ego, but your ego will trick you into believing that that woman has high interest in you. And it's not high interest. This is why I'm a big proponent. And next week, we're going to talk about ego. I'm a big proponent of getting the ego in check. And it's going to be one of my most important. All my episodes are important, but this one is going to be very, very important. Right? Don't let your ego trick you into believing that a woman who's over reliant on your validation, don't let that's not high interest. It's just a bullshit woman. You know what I'm saying? The next red flag to look out for is lack of gratitude. Guys, you want to try to fish for gratitude immediately. You don't want a woman who does not practice gratitude. You don't want a woman who does not practice gratitude. And you should be practicing gratitude yourself as a man. Gratitude is the foundation and the key to your success as a man, by the way. But you should never entertain any woman. I don't care how fine she look. I don't care how, how good her box is. I don't care about none of that. If she doesn't practice gratitude, don't waste your time. Right? Let's say you plan a great date, but instead of thanking you, she complains about the restaurant or something small. You could look at it by stuff like that. Like, take a woman to a restaurant, take her somewhere, right? Ain't necessarily first date, but, take a woman somewhere and listen to the complaints. Listen to the complaints. And not complaining to you, but just complaining in general. Stuff that's talking about stuff that's small, raising an issue about stuff that's small or stuff that you don't need to be even, stuff like that, little signs like that show that that's a person that lacks gratitude. There's no way. Let's say a mentor of mine's invited me out to a restaurant, to chop it up, and he was paying for everything. And then I started complaining about, not to him, but just complaining about the spoon, how sometimes they have the wet streaks on the spoon. I started complaining about that, or, it took too long and shit. Now, who does that? That's crazy. Always spot and make sure that the woman that you talking to practices gratitude. And there's a million ways to ask a woman that. You ask a man to be, hey, how do you feel about practicing gratitude? And listen to the response. But practicing gratitude is key. Because if you get with a woman who's not grateful, you're going to be in one of them situations you doing everything that in your power to see to it that a person is taken care of, and they'll look you in your face and tell you ain't doing enough or you ain't did nothing for me. So, you don't want to be there. That's not a good feeling for a man. As men, that's something that we need, that, to keep us going. We like, I'm basically preaching to the choir, but I'm saying we like as if it mattered to y'all that what I'm telling y'all what we like. But, as men, we like our efforts to be acknowledged. We like, as purposeful men, we want the things we're doing to make sense, and we want them to matter, and we want to see the fruit grow as purposeful men, and if you have a woman who's not grateful or who doesn't practice gratitude, you won't feel that in a relationship with her, and that's going to be big for you. It's going to be big for your mental health and emotional well-being. So financial dependence, pay attention to the woman who needs financial dependence. So not who needs, but who's financially dependent or has the potential to be financially dependent upon you. She constantly brings up money struggles, and they do it subtly. They don't come out the gate. Some women come out the gate and treat you like a trick, but a lot of women don't come out the gate just asking you for some stuff. They hint at it, it'll be nice to be, it would be nice, it must be nice, and that type of shit. Or, it sure be nice for somebody to spoil me, or pay attention to that type of stuff. Let me tell you something. A woman who is smart she's not going to show you that she needs help financially. Basically, that she gonna hide that, even if she do. So if you can see that in the beginning, not only do you have a needy woman, you have a dumb needy a woman, or a woman who don't give a fuck about you, who's looking to put you in a trick bag and treat you like a trick. Now, the next thing to pay attention to is the victim mentality. Now, y'all see this. She blames her exes all the time. It's her daddy's fault. It's her mama's fault. It's her ex's fault. It's her boss' fault. It's the people at work. All her life circumstances, her problems, her negative life circumstances, they all somebody else's fault. She never takes accountability. Pay attention to that, the victim mentality. So you got over-reliance on validation, lack of gratitude, financial dependence, and the victim mentality. These are the perfect cocktail red flags for a needs-based woman, a needy woman, an energy vampire. So, pay attention to that and don't overlook the red flags. Now, set boundaries early. Observe her reaction to no. Tell a woman no and watch her reaction. And prioritize women who practice gratitude, who are collaborative and independent. I know we like to, I'm not talking about feminists. I don't need no man type of, I'm talking about who's an individual person who can stand on their own. Prioritize women like that. That's scary to a lot of y'all because a lot of y'all are needy yourselves, right? And you depend on a woman needing you. You need a woman to need you. And that's a vicious cycle. Again, I'm not talking about I don't need no man, I'm strong and independent. I'm talking about a woman who has an individual, her own self-identity. She has a sense of self without you or anybody else. I promise you, prioritize women like that. They may not be as exciting in the beginning because emotionally dependent women and needy women and needs-based women, they're very exciting in the beginning. Right? The sex be all passionate. They be showing a lot of passion. So a woman who has her own individuality, who's complete within herself, they don't, I'm not saying that it can't be that or that it's not that, but the needs-based woman is a lot more intense. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of men kind of go with what seems more passionate, but prioritize, women like that. That has a sense of, has a sense of self, has her own identity. That's, again, practices gratitude, and that's collaborative. That's very big. So those are the steps to, set those standards for yourself. You say, you know what, I'm going to prioritize women who have a life of their own, right? I'm going to prioritize women who show gratitude and who practice gratitude. And I'm going to, prioritize women who are not only cooperative, but collaborative, who collaborate together and grow together. All right, fellas, listen to me, man. Needs-based women, needy women, energy vampire women, they don't just drain you. They block you from building a life you deserve. Choose wisely. Relationships should elevate you, not exhaust you. Take a hard look at yourself. Are you coming from a place of neediness? If so, it's time to build your own value. When you're strong and self-sufficient, you attract people who match your worth. If you're ready to master the art of identifying value-based women and spotting red flags before it's too late, check out my course, How to Vet Women Properly. This program gives you the tools to protect your time, energy, and your peace. Find the link in the description and take control of your dating life today. Guys, that's it. I appreciate you for tuning in. This is your gracious game advisor. Like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with one of your friends, turn somebody on to it, share this with somebody who need it, put it in the group chat when it drops. As soon as you get done listening, drop it in the group chat. A lot of y'all don't like to share the game. I think a lot of men don't like to let other men know that they listening to stuff like this. That's an ego thing. I guess you don't want people to know that you're struggling or you need help with women or you have a problem to hell with all that. Let that go and share this game, and you'll be able to find your tribe. You'll be able to find your tribe. Again, not find friends and associates, but find a tribe of people who you connect with on a deeper level, But anyway, again, like the video, guys, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is your gracious game advisor, yours truly, King Dre. See you next time.